Ready?
Yep.
All right. Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I am Martelle, and with me always is Randy. What up, Randy?
What is going on?
Oh, it's just another day.
The sun's out, though.
The sun's out, and it's warm.
It's beautiful. This is my kind of weather.
Relatively warm. It's been cold, so
yeah.
For me, it's relatively warm.
It's warmer than it had been.
Yes.
And not rainy.
No.
So that's nice.
So it's like 50 degrees today. I can do my...
I got a packed day today, dude.
Do you?
Yeah, well, I played at church today. We did an acoustic set.
Yeah.
I play bass, so I took my acoustic bass. I was there at 7:30, left at noon, because we do 2 services.
Okay.
Ran to head out of town. Didn't get my coffee or breakfast this morning. Totally forgot. Ran the wife and kids out to her parents. Got stuck by a train. And then...
So you ran into a train?
Literally.
It stuck you?
Ran into a train.
Like being shanked in jail?
So, right. So we had to sit and wait on that.
That's the same sound that cows make.
I feel like you have one sound effect.
I do.
And you apply it to everything. Gunshot. Pew. Pew. Yeah, so I get them dropped off, head back in town, go to Hardee's, because that's the only place I can stop to get food without going out of my way, heading towards your place.
Right.
And I try to avoid fast food. 1, it's too expensive for the garbage it is. And 2, I really need to get the weight back off, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there, and as soon as I pull up, the lady's like, hey, go ahead with your... Hold on, my battery's dying. I'm like, great. So I had to wait on the train. I'm going to be a couple minutes late.
And her battery died.
And then her battery died. So I'm sitting there, put it in park. You know, a few minutes goes by. I'm looking at the menu, and everything tells the calories now, which is nice.
Right.
Even though caloric intake.
How many people were getting backed up behind you?
Nobody, actually. One came right as I went to. Nobody. A lot of people at Circleville eat Hardee's, but they go in. It's like
this
one of the
episode brought to you by Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Yeah, so I ended up just getting a few chicken tenders, and I left, and as I went to leave, Hardee's is right by the train track, another train came, so I got stuck by 2 trains.
How the hell, how?
It's a Circleville
That's
thing.
That's the luck of the draw.
And the way Circleville's set up, you've got your grid of a city, and the train cuts across 22, which is one thoroughfare in out of town, curves and cuts across Court Street and Pickaway, which are the 2 that go north and south. So when a train comes through, it was actually such a big problem that they reopened the old fire station on the other side of the train track because there were emergencies.
Oh, and they couldn't get
and fire trucks couldn't get to half the city.
Nice.
Or EMTs or anything. So, but other than that, it's good. It's been a busy week.
That's good. Good.
Yeah, we had family Thanksgiving, of course, Thursday.
Yeah, I did that. Nothing too eventful.
No, we deep fried 2 turkeys. And I forged while we were deep frying. Dude, deep frying is the way to go.
Oh, I know.
We
did one at our Friendsgiving that we had down at the cabin.
Yeah.
They deep fried a turkey.
So we did 2, fantastic. And it was just the folks, my brother, and us.
Okay.
So 7 people. So we have a ton of leftovers, which is awesome. And then Thursday night, we play we get together with my cousins and friends and do a LAN party every Thanksgiving night.
Okay.
Old school. So from 8 o'clock until I think I got home about 4 in the morning. Did that, had some White Castles in the middle of the night, and that was a mistake.
That's gross.
And then, what did we do with Friday? Oh, Friday, my dad went out to the cabin. I was still in bed. And our cabin we're trying to sell in the Hockin Hills there was a power issue, so we had to run 2 new mains to it, main power lines. So, spent the better part, probably about 4 hours Friday, running new mains into the cabin. Got that fixed. Yesterday was family Thanksgiving on Beth's family, and they had the game on the projector. Good and Lord. I got to watch it next to... Oh, we do 3.
I was going to say, you do a shitload.
3. You should see what we used to do for Christmas. I don't have time to get into all that. We've cut that back, too, but I got to watch OSU stomp Michigan next to my brother-in-law, who's a huge Michigan fan, and that was glorious. All the sports balling. It was so much fun.
Nice.
I know you're a big football fan.
Oh,
did you watch?
I did. So we did Thanksgiving at my grandmother's, like we do every year. My sister came up from Florida. We did Thanksgiving at my grandmother's. No drama from anybody this year.
That's boring.
It's actually quite refreshing. So usually there's some drama, something, who knows. But zero drama this year, which was nice. And then I came home and we did Thanksgiving again at Liz's parents or her mom's. No drama there either, but there never is. And then that's it. I watched the OSU game. It's the only football game that I will take time out of my day to watch, the OSU-Michigan game.
It was a good one, too.
It was good. There was
some back and forth in the beginning, and then the Buckeyes
just kind of stomped.
That second half, I was like, man, Harbaugh's going to adjust, and it's going to be a close one. And
he adjusted,
but the Buckeyes came out and played even better.
Yeah, he only adjusted from dressing left to dressing right.
Yeah, it was a good game. I was super pumped. I don't know what that's going to leave. If we win out, if we get in or not, and if we do get in, can we face Clemson or Bama? And man,
I will say that after watching, I watched highlights on a couple games. This game is the only game where the Buckeyes actually played. How they actually won any of the 10 games they won going into this at 10-1. I'm not sure how the way that they played previously, how they won any of their games. It was probably their worst playing season.
Yeah.
And they still managed to win.
Yeah, it was.
This is the only game that they
it was
played
weird.
Well.
It's been a weird season because the team that played yesterday did not look the same as what we saw against Stephen Maryland the week before.
No, I'm pretty sure Urban told them that if they didn't win this game, they were all fired. And they're paying to be there.
Firing the kids.
Most of them are paying to be there. Some of them are getting paid to be there, I'm sure. But
so we got us a new setup now.
So yeah, we're trying something new today.
I got no warning.
Nope.
So if I have a nip slip or something, my bad.
Well, this ain't the Super Bowl.
I can unbutton this button right here.
Just like Janet Jackson.
Just let it hang out.
That's right.
Yeah, we got a video camera and 2 chairs set up side by side, almost like that Between Two Ferns thing Zach Galifianakis does.
It's going to be, except he's got 2 ferns on the outside. I got to put my the stands on the outside.
We could do that.
We're
between 2 mics.
Yeah, we sit closer. Hey, we're going to change the name, Between 2 Mics. But
I was trying to think if that'd be like a copyright thing, but I don't think we get big enough to care. I heard on the way out here, iTunes now does podcast awards.
Oh.
There's 20 categories, and they look for smaller podcasters because the whole thing is there are some people out there that deserve to be known.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
You have to get on there and vote. We're not on it, I'm pretty sure, because we've not been contacted. But yeah, I heard it on the radio. I was like, that's pretty cool, though, that they're looking for, and they have different categories. They're talking about curiosity, comedy, political,
pure
sports.
Randomness, because that's what this show is.
I mean, I call it comedy, I guess.
I label it as talk and comedy, but
yeah.
It is. I think I counted when GW was here for one of the shows. I think I counted. We switched directions on a topic 22 times in probably a 10-minute span.
Wow,
it's ridiculous. We're just.
But if you're never supposed to be on topic, then you can never really be off topic.
Right. Well, we started on one topic and we ended up.
It's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
It's like sitting around with no pants on.
Right.
No constriction at all.
We started, I think we started talking about sports ball and ended up on water.
That's weird.
When it was all said and done.
And now that we have a video camera in here, I can't sit with my pants off anymore.
No, you got to leave your pants. Well, you could.
I got open fly boxer briefs on.
That's all right. It's not nude. It's as long as your junk ain't showing, it ain't nudity. It can go up on YouTube. I
can just tuck?
If you want. I got duct tape downstairs.
Oh, I don't need duct tape. It ain't that big. I'll just suck it in. We have an innie like a belly button.
But so we went out the other day. This is a quick story. I want to get your thoughts on this. We're up at Easton. And
I think that's a bad idea.
Well, in the end, it was on Black Friday.
I think that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it was on Black Friday. It was awful. I mean, it was trying to find a parking spot. It was horrible. I usually don't leave the house on Black Friday. I hate. I'm glad that you can shop from your computer now, but we're up there. I get a parking spot. Or I'm sorry. We're up there. We go to Chick-fil-A. I love
amazing.
The Jesus chicken. I will eat the shit out of that.
Best chicken out there.
Best chicken, best service, cleanest restaurants, cleanest shitter.
And they're nice. Their employees, even I don't know if their employees even have bad days.
I don't know. They
I've never had a rude employee there.
I haven't either, and I've never been in a dirty one.
Now I want Chick-fil-A.
But
they need to put one of those in Circleville.
Every time, they're not going to.
I know.
A friend of mine looked in the franchising for it, and they only do it like it takes forever to get the franchising, and they choose the spot, not you.
Yeah, but they make really good chicken, so I'm not going to be mad at them.
But they make really good chicken. You get a refill, you say thank you, they say, "Oh, it's my pleasure."
Yeah,
it's just it's weird.
Yeah, because that's not the norm.
The rude service that you get every place else. Anyway, so we're up at Easton, and we're all leaving. We're heading out to the car. This guy is standing on the sidewalk, and he's staring at his car, and then he hits the lock button.
Okay.
I look up. His wife is sitting in the passenger seat. The dude locked his wife in the car at Chick-fil-A at Easton.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out why. Like, Liz and I both looked at each other like, what was that about? Why did he do that?
I mean, she can unlock it and get out, right?
No, because when you lock it, it's the factory alarm system. So if she unlocks the car and opens the door, it's going to set the alarm off.
Oh, but she can get out.
Well,
it just sets the alarm off.
But it's more the fact that he locked his wife in the car.
Well, maybe she wanted to stop playing Candy Crush or Pinteresting or whatever.
I don't know.
It's like one of those things that if you're not in the car by this time, I'm leaving, and they actually do it. And then everybody's like, you left me. Like, no, I told you this was going to happen.
I told you it was going to happen.
You chose. You made your decision. There are consequences. It's like I told Huck today. Right. He was bad in Sunday school, and he got disciplined. And he understood. I said, he asked if he could have a surprise when he got home. After we found out he had trouble in class, I said, no. I said, who gets surprises, good boys or bad boys? He said, good boys. I said, what were you? He said, a bad boy. And then he started crying. I'm like, dude, I'm not. If I tell it, like, we have these boundaries and we set them, I said, and I explained this to my 4-year-old, do you understand you made a choice to act up? Yes. Do you understand that there are consequences if you act up? Yes. So, like, I'm teaching him right now, you can make whatever choice you want. You just can't control the consequences that come from that choice.
Right. Well, wait until he realizes that the word bad means good. Cool. Man, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's badass. I was BA today, Dad. I was straight BA.
Locked a woman in a car.
That's right.
Tough.
Lock my woman in a car.
So is that was the end? You don't know what happened from there?
I don't know what happened.
Did he go in and sit down and eat?
He went inside. I don't know if he went and sat down and eat.
Because that'd be funny if he just like sat down at the table and ate and
kind of looked at each other like, well, that's weird.
Now, what he may have been talking to her, shut the door and locked it because it's Easton, let's be honest.
Well, Easton's
and then gone in and got
terrible.
something to go and come back, and she just chilled in the car.
That's more than likely what happened. But Easton, I don't think...
It's not terrible, but it's not near as nice as it used to be.
No, and it's not lock your wife in the car bad.
It's kind of like Bexley, though. Bexley's really nice.
Parsons Avenue.
But it's right next door to the hood.
Well, everywhere in Columbus is right next door.
Yeah, everywhere in every big city is.
Right.
But anyway.
And then there was a video, and I have the video saved. I'll post it up on the show page. So I think I mentioned the guy who was driving around with the cow in the back of his truck, where I posted the video on the Facebook page. It's been a while ago.
Yeah, okay, I was trying to remember.
That guy takes his cow through Chick-fil-A. I've got the video.
Was it at the Chick-fil-A you were at?
No, he's over on the west side of Ohio near Troy.
Does the cow say eat more chicken? Is there a sign?
That would be hilarious. The cow's name is Alice. And he pulls up, and they give her dog biscuits, and she eats them.
The cow eats dog biscuits.
The cow rides in the back seat of the truck.
The back seat?
The back seat with her head
I thought you meant
out.
in the back of the truck.
No. In the cab.
Wow. What? I'm trying to understand the guy's logic.
She likes to ride in the car.
But it can't be easy to load this cow up.
I'm sure the cow just climbs in.
And the cow has to crap all over the place.
Shit bags, just like they do for parades on horses.
That doesn't keep the stink away while you drive. You can't roll down windows from that. Somebody farts, you roll down a bunch of windows, it goes away pretty quick.
Well, hey.
Cow takes a huge dump in a bag connected to its sphincter.
The guy's walking around with the windows, driving around with the windows down anyway.
What if it pees all over the place?
Well,
he's got pissy floor mats and it smells like urine all the time. You smell that ammonia.
Hey, that's on him.
Gross. That's worse. I mean, you get like a wet dog in a car. That scent lingers for a while.
Yeah, I know. But
what about wet cow?
I'm sure it smells like rawhide.
Rawhide.
It's gross.
Leather. My sister-in-law does that Scentsy crap.
Yeah, we have some of those.
And she got some air fresheners for your car. And she gave Beth one that was like lavender or something. Ugh. And of course, it lasted like 3 days. She gave me one that was supposed to be leather. And she said, I don't like it, but a lot of customers order them. So I grabbed it, threw it up in my truck. Well, I wasn't driving my truck every day, so it sat for 3 days. I opened it up, and that smell was not leather. It smelled worse than if I'd been driving around with a cow in the cab of my old truck.
smelled like
Dude, it was all like chemically smelling, really potent. It was like if leather had been soaked in bleach,
ew,
and then crammed up a 600-pound person's
finger.
poop hole,
My 600-pound life.
and then take that out and then tuck it under one of their rolls for about 4 weeks,
That's disgusting.
and then let it sit out in the sun for a month, and then throw it in the.
Well, then it would dry out,
And that's it's got to dry out,
but it's not going to.
so you can hang it in on your rearview mirror. It was not pleasant.
That's
so
gross.
if you're looking to get an air freshener, do not get the leather. I almost said flavored. Tastes awful. The leather flavored Scentsy car air freshener tastes
I don't
gross.
like any of them. The ones that we have here are too strong, and they give me a headache.
I don't mind the little Scentsy. You're so sensitive,
I get headaches.
like a woman. The little Scentsy pot light bulb things.
Cramp up too.
I
Need my Midol.
those don't bother me, but yeah, that air freshener was not good.
No. So, back to this OSU Michigan game. This is the only. Well, nah, fuck it. I don't give a shit anymore. What do you want to talk about?
All right,
I'm done.
you're done.
I'm done.
So, did you hear about the dude that got killed by the Sentinelese tribe?
No.
Okay, do you know the Sentinelese tribe?
Are they they're the last tribe in the Amazon that has any human contact?
Yeah, well, they're not in the Amazon. They're on their own little island off of India.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I know
the
what
ones
tribe
that
it
shoot
is.
arrows at planes and stuff and drones.
and they shoot arrows at the boats, even though they know the arrows are going to reach. You're not allowed to. This is the island that you're not allowed to visit with because the government of Indonesia has protected the island so that people don't go there because they are literally the last tribe to have any type of human contact, outside human contact from the outside world.
Right.
So basically, they're still running around in loincloths and shooting bows and arrows made out of twigs
Pretty much.
and throwing rocks.
So they killed a dude last week.
Shouldn't have been on the island.
So, well, absolutely. But that sparked my interest because I'd heard about him before when they killed somebody that, a couple guys that tried to make contact with him years ago. And last week.
Now, I do know there are some people that can go to the island and haven't been killed because they do have some sort of contact with the Indonesian government.
Right. I did find one small thing. There wasn't a lot of info. It's kind of like they have made contact, but they keep it very hush-hush.
Yeah, it's very minimal, and they don't supply any supplies or anything.
And they don't advertise it because they don't want to make it look like it's easy to go there.
Right.
But this dude, John, I got it all here on my handy-dandy tablet. Excuse me, John Allen Chow.
So he's an Asian dude, like probably Chinese or Japanese?
Yeah, but he's American, but he is of Asian descent.
Okay.
Chau is how it's spelled. But he was killed last week, and what had happened was he had swindle paid a couple fishermen to get him close to the island.
Okay.
And then they said, hey, don't go. He kept trying to get somebody to get him close to the island. Nobody would.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. And there was some kind of a ban that was lifted in 2016 by the Indian government, but it's still not recommended to go there or whatever. Well, he finally got these two fishermen. I think they said there's a total of 6 fishermen had been arrested in links of getting him close to the island.
Okay.
But they drove him out there, and he hopped in a little canoe, paddled to the island. Well, the next day his body was found being dragged across the beach by these people.
Okay.
So that's about as much info as I have on that, but it got me really thinking about who these people are. Because I've heard about it, and there's somebody had sent me a meme or two about how they are the world champs in border control.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
You see that one?
Border Control World Champs.
I think it was Garrett, actually.
It just shows two naked guys or 3 naked guys like jumping up and down on a beach with bows.
Yeah, so I started doing some research about them and why are they so hostile and defensive, and kind of what are their like beliefs. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, they're still living the way Native Americans lived. Because everybody's like, well, it's this tribe on this island. There's actually were 5 tribes on the island. 2 have become extinct, and now there's 3 tribes left.
So they're just killing each other off.
No.
Oh, they're not.
They're not. That's the thing. So it's like the Native Americans here. Now, Native Americans, and around Thanksgiving, it was funny because I shared a couple memes, and then everybody's talking about prepare yourselves. The memes about caring about Indians are coming or what, Native American Indians, you know. Yeah. And this and that. And I always joke around, tell somebody to think a white person. because if it wasn't for a bunch of people invading and raping and pillaging, we wouldn't be here. And I don't know how many people take me seriously, but I was having fun with it, me and my Native American descent that I'm 1,000th of or something. And, but it got me thinking, I was really intrigued, especially once I found out there's still 3 separate tribes on this island.
And the island's not that big.
No. Now, well, here's my first fact is it's about the size of Manhattan.
Okay.
And Manhattan, I looked up, is 22.7 square miles.
Okay.
So it's not a giant island.
It's not huge at all. It's about the size of St. Lucia, the place I want to live.
Okay. Well, there you go. So you can go be a tribe on St. Lucia.
That's right.
But it falls under the protection of India's government. And it's estimated that the Sentinelese have been isolated there for about 60,000 years.
That's crazy.
60,000 years of nobody else coming to that island. And it blows my mind. Because if you look back in world history, every island and every part of land has been invaded in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So it blows my mind this still exists.
So they're that savage.
And yeah.
I mean, if someone can't go to that island for 60,000 years, they are savage.
They're savage, and I think it's one of those things, like you said, it's not a big island, and there aren't a lot of resources there. So, like, why go there? Why even mess with it? I don't know. But,
I'm just more surprised that...
Because honestly, if we wanted to go there, we could send in like 2 Marines and wipe out the whole island.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like one squadron of any U.S. military could take out that island. No problem. We could go out there. We could seriously give our guys pistols. And they would be far outgunned. So
it'd be over with in a matter of hours.
Yeah. Or we could just use drones and kill them all. But anyway, so it says nobody really knows their population, but the island population is believed to be anywhere from 50 to 400.
It's got to be more than 50.
That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know how many. Now in Manhattan, that's the area of Manhattan, there's actually a lot more than 400 people live in.
Oh, yeah.
So it's possible, but these people aren't living in high-rise apartments and stuff.
And everything else. And...
but here's what it said. Europeans once documented 5 different tribes. Today, only 3 remain, including the Sentinelese. All it says is the other 2 are extinct. I didn't get any information about the other 2 or what took them out,
okay.
But it's believed to be just general illness. Kind of a, I don't know. That's one of the things that always confused me about evolution, too. Because you'd think that if they lived on that island without any outside contact, they would be okay. So, did the other tribes kill them? I don't know, but what I'm going to read in a little bit makes me believe that they weren't taken out by the other tribes.
Okay.
So, and you got to remember, 5 tribes on an island the size of Manhattan, they're definitely neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're within pissing distance of each other.
Pretty much.
So, they have never mixed with other ethnicities. So, the bloodline is the same as it was 60,000 years ago. That blows my mind. Because we talk about different nationalities, where you come from, are people really from Africa, or are they really Cherokee, or are they really Irish? A lot of people claim to be Irish.
Yeah.
And they're as much Irish as I am Native American, like a very small percentage.
I'm Irish.
Right. Full blood.
Not full blood.
But these people are...
more Irish than most people. On
full blood.
St. Patrick's Day.
I'm always Irish once a year. So they've caused the historians and scientists to question their theories of early human migration. So the Asians and Pacific populations, they now believe left in one wave to expand, where previously they thought they left Africa in multiple waves.
Okay.
So these people's existence is kind of rewriting the way we thought things happened. Yeah, like history in the way that migration happened originally. So I found that really interesting. They were thought to be extinct after that massive tsunami in 2004 over there.
Yeah.
Found out nobody died, apparently, as far as we can tell.
Huh.
It says that they're thought to have moved to higher ground prior to the tsunami, as if they knew it was coming. And that's where I got really intrigued by these people. Because how do people that shoot at planes with bow and arrows and yell at them and shake their fists know a tsunami's coming long enough to be able to climb up a mountain or whatever?
Witch doctors.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know, because I can't ask them. I can't get any of them to accept my friend request on Facebook. So, but the inhabitants of all the surrounding islands were devastated.
Think about that for a minute, though. They are basically primal. I mean, they're as primal as a dog or cat has instincts about tornadoes coming or earthquakes when they start freaking out about that stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
So
I would definitely say they've got to be more in tune to nature than we are.
Right. So that's the only explanation I have is they're more in tune with everything that's happening, and it's very primal.
That's pretty interesting.
Super primal. Like, we're domesticated.
Kind of like Native Americans, though.
They're feral.
They talk about Native American trackers and whatnot, you know? Like the Navajos being used in war for communication and for...
They sniff footprints and pick up leaves and go, he went this way.
And, and there's actually a study done, too, for Native Americans in the military. Their tracking abilities, when they went into the military, they lost them, and they couldn't figure out why. And come to find out, it's because the military back then, the government made them cut their hair. And they said that their hair actually acts as, you know, like sensors, kind of like antenna on a bug.
Yeah.
And once they let Indians grow out, so they did a control group where they let half of them keep their long hair and half cut off. The half that had their hair cut off couldn't track near as well as the other half.
Huh.
So maybe it's something like that with these Sentinelese. Man, they should have picked a way easier name.
Sentinelese?
Like Dutch. Why couldn't they be the Dutch?
God, I wish my name was Dutch.
Or the Jews. Or the fat American pigs. Change your name to Dutch already. But yeah, it's a really cool... I didn't really think about that. It's a good theory about them being able to sense it coming. But all the islands surrounding them that are more progressive and have evolved and grown and whatnot, lost buildings, lost people. These people, totally fine. They're like, I guess they just build back their huts or go back into the caves or whatever it is they live in.
That's it. That is interesting.
It said, one of the facts I found, if not for their metal-tipped arrows carved from the hulls of wrecked ships, they would be described as Stone Age people. They'd still be Stone Age. But they have metal from wrecked ships.
So they're making arrowheads, basically.
Yeah. Their canoes are constructed to fish and survive only in shallow waters. They can't even get off their island.
But why would they want to?
I'm not saying they will, but every canoe they found is like, they're not even trying to.
Well.
So they're still, like you said, they're still very primitive, so much so they haven't even tried to make better canoes.
But this island is what, like a 7-hour boat ride anyway?
Oh, I don't
modern
know.
Boat, I think.
I didn't find that. I didn't look that up. I didn't think about it. It says it's unaffected by the development and progress of mainstream society. Duh. They live a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. They do not, they don't cultivate anything. They're not out there trying to grow crops or anything. It is not even known if they even make fire. So they may be out there eating raw crab and fish.
I like raw crab and fish.
Whole milk. Oh, that joke will be relevant later on, folks. I just realized this may air before that episode.
Right.
They are not immune to modern diseases, so a simple cold or flu could wipe out the entire island.
So that's why that's why the government put a ban on going to that island.
Right. It says the first contact was in 1880. British explorers captured an old couple and children. So they actually went... White people from England went to this island and kidnapped a family. Sounds oddly familiar. So the couple that they kidnapped got sick and died.
Well, of course.
Like almost immediately. They returned the kids as soon as their parents died. So they went and kidnapped a family. The parents got sick and died, took the kids back like, oh, we made a mistake by taking people that didn't want to leave.
Yeah. Imagine that.
So, yeah, so I found this article about where this guy, John Allen Chow, went to visit, and he was a missionary. He wanted to go over there and convert them all to Christianity.
Of course he did.
And as somebody who, obviously, you know, I talked about playing in church today, as somebody that, I tend to tell people more I'm a believer, a Christ follower, because the word Christian has become so marred by, it's kind of like Republican or Democrat. Everybody just always thinks of the extremists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when people say, are you Christian? I'm like, you know, you got to define what a Christian is to you before I can answer that. But this dude said he was keen to convert the protected people. But the Sentinelese, who were fearful of outsiders, attacked him with bows and arrows. So they killed him. The London-based Survival International says his killing should act as a reminder that the remote tribes need to be protected from the outside world. Duh.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking something up about this. I'm trying to figure out, because I'm pretty sure that this is like a long boat ride from mainland.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out what that distance is.
How the distance? Okay.
But they did say in this one article, as I was scrolling through it, about John, Mr. Cho, that now people in his missionary, from his mission, are calling him a martyr. So he died a martyr because he died for the ultimate cause.
I mean, I think by definition he's a martyr, but I also think he's a moron.
Well, I think he's a moron. I'm not a martyr. They both start with M.
Here's the thing, too. If God calls you to go spread the word, I hate the word convert. I get it, but it's also got such bad connotations. I feel like you should go share. If you believe in God or Buddha or whatever, you should live out that lifestyle, and you should share your beliefs in a way that draws people closer to
with people that want to hear it.
Wanting to understand. Just showing them saying, I'm going to convert you all because you're going to hell doesn't really win folks over.
Why?
But here's my thing, though. If you are a believer, anytime, or if you're not, but you've at least studied the Bible, any religion, really, because I can't really think of one that isn't like this, but anytime that God called somebody to go somewhere to spread the message, to spread the story of salvation, he called them, they went, and they were fine, even when it was into hostile territory. Obviously, this dude wasn't called there. He just went, hey, I know these people don't know who Jesus Christ is. I'm going to go tell them. And that brought up an interesting thought to me. With kids, in the Christian faith, with kids, there's this age of innocence, right?
Right.
Kids don't understand all the ins and outs of sin. So if a kid dies, most Christian cultures or denominations say, the kid was innocent, the kid went to heaven, or a baby.
Okay.
Baby dies, baby goes to heaven.
Yeah.
Do these people go to heaven because they do not have an understanding of sin or of Christ I don't know. That was something I just thought of. I don't have any notes on that. I thought of it when I was kind of reading, but
well, I mean, you got to think of the religions that don't believe in a heaven or a hell.
Right.
So,
but I'm saying if this guy's a Christian, that's why I'm using Christianity.
Okay. Yeah.
He wanted to convert them to Christianity. Any of the Sentinelese that have died before, actually, how do we even know they don't believe in Christianity? Come to think of it, but if they do not know,
I would
who
say
Jesus
if they've
Christ
been living
was
on
or
that
is
island for 60,000 years, they're well before. They were there in BC,
right? Well,
and
obviously,
now in ADs, they have zero contact. They don't know who this gentleman is with the long, slick hair and the nice
the
beard,
white skin and
the white skin, and
perfectly white robe when he lives in a desert.
His white teeth.
So, some things we can learn from him is there's this article that says, "What can we learn from this tribe?" It's kind of like they're writing this saying, "Okay, guys, look, we get that people are curious, but we need to step back and learn from these people." They said one thing that we can learn from them is it's possible to live in complete equality, and it can make for a peaceful community. But the one catch is, it involves becoming an anarchist, which I think Garrett would love to be here to talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
No government, no state, only the individual and their will to do as they please. Now, obviously, with no government and no state, there are some downsides to that, too. But on this tiny island for these...
Well, they have some sort of... I'm sure they have some sort of government going on.
I don't know.
But they have to have something. There are tribe laws in most tribes.
But how do we know there are in this?
I'm sure they have something.
I mean, usually, traditionally, Native American tribes had a chief.
Right.
And the chief obviously would have,
I'm
warriors.
Sure they have a chief, and they're all
that's what I would assume.
There's a witch doctor that can predict earthquakes and
tsunamis. But it says that these tribes, they disavow violence. They don't punish children physically. They believe peace is achieved by dismissing concepts of ownership, competition, vanity, and greed. I think everybody in the world could benefit from that.
Right.
If we got rid of concepts of the competition, vanity, and greed especially.
I just opened Google Maps, and Google Maps cannot find this island. They've removed it from Google.
Google's like, no, we ain't helping you.
From the maps.
No sports are played. Your kind of people. Not even cheerleading.
I like sports. I just don't. Watching sports on TV sucks.
Yeah, that's fair. I watch football, but that's about it on TV anymore. I watched the Buckeyes. I love that game. I was really into it. It was very entertaining. I saw the cheerleaders on the sideline cheering for a sport.
Yeah? Did you cheer
Since
for them?
they're not a sport. Hope your sister hears this one.
Oh, she will. She's been listening in her office because her boss was like, "What the hell are you listening to?" And she's like, "My brother's podcast."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Lady Martelle's boss.
Yeah.
Download, like, share, subscribe. Buckhorn podcast. Always plug. So it says the ideal of the individual is the most important thing. So that although that an emphasis doesn't foster selfishness, it's up to each individual to choose what they do, how they do it, and when they do it. And they do not pass judgment on others' decisions. They're describing me. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do my own thing, and as long as it affects nobody else, if it's my own land or my own property, my own car, my own whatever, clothes, my own beliefs, I want to be able to do that so long as it's not affecting you.
Right. And you should be able
and
to.
I want you to be able to do, and that's kind of, people talk about our podcast. Of course, I have a lot of friends, both in and outside of church, but people from church are like, oh yeah, I remember seeing you have a podcast. Should I listen? And I said, I invite you to listen. But you need to understand that it's not a Christian podcast, or we don't talk about beliefs. It's not. I said my buddy does not believe the way I do, so you may hear things that you may not like. Don't listen around the kids. Is the first. It's really what I tell them. Just give it a shot. Not around the kids.
It's like my buddy Mo said. It's like sitting on the porch with two of your buddies having a drink.
And I think it's easy.
It's not safe for work. Put on headphones.
Right. Definitely put on headphones at work, unless you work for yourself.
Even then, put on headphones.
Right.
Sounds better.
But I mean, you and I coexist, and we don't believe all the same ways.
Right. You
drive an Audi. I would never drive a German vehicle again in my life.
Right.
I think it's dumb.
That's fine. You don't believe that.
No, I do like your car a lot.
See.
I'm just too poor to keep up with one. The required maintenance.
I haven't had to put any money into it yet.
All right, well, we won't jinx it. We'll move on.
I put an oil change, that's it, and some tires.
Even our beliefs, though. I mean, obviously, we don't get into religion on this, but I believe in Christ, and you don't. And I don't see why that.
I don't.
Well, it's that, okay, you're not a practicing Christian.
I don't believe so.
You don't believe in the religious part of it.
I don't believe in the part where he did everything that they say he did, or large churches.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm fine with like the small. I prefer, if I'm going to go to, honest to God, if I'm going to go to church, I want to go to a small church that has a choir and maybe a bell choir.
Bell choirs are awesome.
I don't need guitars and drums
and a bass guitar.
Well,
then I would just leave
all the instruments. Some guy standing up on stage like he is Rod Parsons from World Harvest.
Parsley.
Whatever. I don't give a shit.
You cook with him. You don't drive on him.
Nope, I'll cook with him too. I'll cannibalize his ass.
Wow, that got dark.
Didn't it? I don't.
But you also like some of the Buddhist principles too.
I believe very much in a lot of the Buddhist principles. I grew up with a Jewish family. I mean, I spent probably 5-6 years with a Jewish family that we went to temple every Saturday.
There you go.
I spoke Hebrew for a while.
I knew that about you.
I couldn't read it, but in what is equivalent to Sunday school on Saturdays.
Saturday school.
Wait, nah, I can't remember what it's called, but we'll go with that. The teacher who taught that class only spoke Hebrew. I had to learn it, or else I couldn't. I had no clue what the hell was going on.
So you couldn't write all the cool looking letters and everything.
I couldn't write any of it. I couldn't read any of it, but I could speak it. I mean, all the prayers, when we did Passover, when we did Hanukkah and everything else, Yom Kippur.
You spin a dreidel?
Spin a dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made that shit out of play. And when it was dry and ready, that dreidel I will play. But I used to know it in Hebrew as well.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I never knew that about you. All the years I've known you.
And that was back in the 80s. I mean, I quit.
But my point of all this is, if more people were like you and I, the world would be a much happier place. Even though you're not generally happy. But
no, I'm a curmudgeon.
But you're a curmudgeon in your house. You're a curmudgeon in your car. You know, like, unless somebody provokes you, you don't just go out and lash out at people for no reason.
No, why should I?
Exactly. So if more people were just chill, that whole part of, let people do what they choose to do, however they want to do it, and don't pass judgment. I would like to say that's how I try to live my life. It's not how I always live my life, and I catch myself a lot. Online, I troll a lot.
Yeah, you do.
On the car side, on Facebook, I do provoke people in conversation there. But in reality, I don't care what everybody's doing. It's not bothering me. It doesn't affect me.
It's sick. I get enjoyment out of seeing people get pissed off sometimes.
That's why you like watching my Facebook so much.
Kinda. I mean, I get pure enjoyment out of saying something, even whether I believe it or not, just to get a rise out of somebody on occasion.
It's entertainment.
I mean, it's for me, it's absolute entertainment. But I only do it on subjects that I am well versed in. That way I can back the shit up. That's why I'm not well versed in religion anymore. Used to be. But I've forgotten all of that. I only have so much room in my brain for random bullshit, like elephants not being able to jump. or other things.
Fun fact, folks.
So,
I wonder if there are elephants on this island.
probably not.
None have ever been seen.
Probably,
I wonder what kind of animals are on this island.
It's probably monkeys, snakes.
Do you think
and
there's
birds.
undiscovered species on this island that we haven't discovered because of bows and arrows?
Potentially. Boats and hoes.
This is blowing my mind the more I think about it. Like these people, it's fascinating to me. I want to go observe them, but not on their island. You know what I'm saying? I wish there was a way.
You want to be invisible.
I want to have a drone that I can fly in, just kind of see what's going on.
Well,
I want to be invisible. You're right.
They're going to shoot arrows at it.
I want to be invisible. That's the greatest superpower. Everybody's like, if you could pick one superpower, what would it be? And so many people say fly, which flying's cool.
Flying is cool.
Because the transportation, you get up, you fly straight, you're there. But what if the weather's crappy?
You fly above it.
Yeah. I want invisibility. If you're invisible, you can just walk onto a plane.
Yeah.
But I want controlled invisibility. I want to have full control over what's invisible so I can wear clothes.
You don't want to be the invisible man?
No. And I want to be able to turn it on and off when I want to. I think that'd be the greatest superpower. Plus, it'd be awesome around Halloween. Just appear in front of somebody and freak them out. Or start moving stuff. Greatest superpower ever.
No. If I had to think about it,
what would be if you had one choice to have one superpower, what would it be?
See, and that's the difficult part. So, because if you think about Deadpool. Deadpool's got multiple superpowers.
Yeah, a lot of superheroes do.
Right. Most of it comes with like super strength and all the other bullshit, which would be nice to have, just to be able to be, lift the world.
Yeah.
Like Atlas. But he's got self-healing or regeneration like Wolverine does.
Right.
So he can get shot, but he's also like, all of his senses are enhanced. Or Spider-Man. You can climb a wall. Now, in today's Spider-Man, he doesn't shoot webs out of his hands like he used to. They've changed all that, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's bullcrap. I agree with you.
I don't like that part, but
it changed the whole story.
Right. So if you could climb on things like a spider, and then you had the ability to just wear bracelets where you could shoot web shit out of your hands, that would be cool.
So if you had to pick one superpower, I know a lot of them are cool.
Right.
But you have to pick one, and it doesn't make you a super. It's the only thing. It doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't make it to where you can hold your breath for 9 hours. It's the one thing.
The one thing you could do. I would like to be a linguist. Be able to hear and understand
out of everything in the world, out of everything in the whole universe that you can imagine in your mind, your human brain.
Breathe in space.
You picked, I want to be able to talk to everybody, and you hate people. You want to be a cunning linguist.
Uh-huh. Words. I could be the ultimate wordsmith. That'd be my superhero name. The wordsmith.
No, it'd just be your job. You just get hired a bunch to talk to people and it'd be boring crap.
That'd be amazing.
I've never heard anybody say that.
In every language.
That is the oddest. That's the most Martelle answer I could have gotten. I don't even know where I was going to. What I was thinking you would pick.
You can't go anywhere from that. No, fuck that. I don't want that.
Nope, you already picked it. All right, moving on.
So it would probably end up being. It would probably end up being the ability to fly. I mean, I know that's such a cop-out answer.
That's not a cop-out. I get tired of saying that, too. Like, oh, that's, everybody says that. Well, yeah, usually when everybody says a thing, it's because it's really freaking cool.
Right. So...
I mean, I think flying's cool.
Flying's cool.
I just don't think it's as cool as invisibility.
Well, see, the thing with invisibility, I think there's other issues when it comes with invisibility. Like walking into, the girl's bathroom and you're jerking off and then all of a sudden you turn visible. While they're standing in the shower because you forgot to control it.
Okay. First off, when I say controlled invisibility, I mean I have complete control at all times. It cannot turn on or off accidentally
it's like a sneeze,
in any way.
though. You sneeze and you like.
I don't sneeze and become invisible now.
No, I'm just saying.
So in my fantasy land,
you sneeze and you become visible for like a brief second.
No, well they might hear the sneeze.
Right. Well, and you like flash into existence and then you disappear.
Not
if
in
I
my
had
world.
to pick honest to God, if I had to pick one, it'd be teleportation.
You've changed. You've given me 3 answers.
No, I don't want flying. I want teleportation.
Yeah, teleportation's cool, but I feel like
I just think about
with
it.
complete
Like
control invisibility, none of that would be an issue. Again, this is all made up, so I'm allowed to say that.
It wouldn't be an issue.
Second point on that, I'm not walking into any girl's locker room. That's not what I would use my power for.
Why? That's what I would do.
I would walk into a bank and rob it.
I would walk into the girls' bathrooms and like touch their butts. Like I'd go to Planet
Just random
Fitness.
butt pinches and nobody's there.
Right. I'd go to Planet Fitness.
You would be a ghost. You want to be a ghost.
Boop.
You want to be a ghost and haunt people.
Sure.
Yeah, but when you go to Planet Fitness and you walk, it's kind of like everybody, when you're younger in middle school or high school, you talk about being a gynecologist.
I'd go to the one in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I still think you're going to have some issues here and there. Less chance than if you're in like Columbus, Ohio, granted. But
Ugh.
exactly, that's my thought. That's why you're like, I'm going to sneak in a girl's locker and the first thing you see is some 74-year-old woman that's 300 pounds.
Go to the new Planet Fitness they're opening in Lancaster.
Stepping all over breastises. You're like, why did I choose invisibility?
No, I would go with, so not the cop-out answer of flying. Linguist was just for you as a farce. It would probably be teleportation. Go with teleportation, because then I can teleport.
You could teleport to the island.
I could teleport
and
to
by
the
the time
island.
they saw you,
I could disappear
just
again.
Disappear.
Yeah.
But what if you sneeze and you don't get out in time and get stabbed?
Well, in my world, a sneeze doesn't bother this. Doesn't wreck this idea.
You're just going to show up on their island, pinch one of their butts, and teleport away.
Yeah. Like, boop, boop.
You're going to be a serial butt pincher.
It'd be awesome.
Goosing people. You're going to be Goose Man.
That's right.
The human goose.
The gooser.
The gooser. Oh, I need to have somebody.
Sure I fly through a windshield.
I need to have one of my animated friends draw you up as a superhero called the Gooser.
Just got to make sure I don't fly through that windshield like Goose did.
Oh, my
Goose and
gosh.
Maverick.
Speaking of Goose and Maverick, I saw a story this morning where a rookie pilot in the United States Air Force who chose the call sign Top Gun wrecked a $140 million F-22 during takeoff.
Sounds
and the
about
picture
right.
showed this thing with the landing gear up, sitting on the runway. The plane was on the ground, not on the landing gear.
So put the landing gear up and rise that.
That's what I said. That's what I told I have a buddy that's in the Air National Guard that was there. I said, hey, Mike, come look at this. And he said, what kind was it? Was it? I think it's an F-16 because apparently they have issues.
Okay.
I was like, no, it's an F-22. He's like, oh, yeah, he shouldn't have wrecked that at takeoff. I showed him the picture. I was like, he could just, hit the button for the landing gear, right? It's fine.
The only way you can do that
Just
is
a
to raise
scratch.
the landing gear while you're on takeoff.
Cranes. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if he
he's
didn't
like
get so
taking
far off
off
the ground and then he tanked it. I don't know. I didn't read the whole article. I just saw the
He should have
headline.
been pulling landing gear until he was way up in the air, not 10 feet off
I'm
the
not a
ground.
pilot. I don't know.
Well, you just
I also
watch
didn't read the
Top
whole Top Gear or Top Gun.
Top Gun, Top Gear.
Same
Both of
thing.
them. There's airplanes in both of them. Anyway, back to the article about the Sentinelese.
Speaking of shifting 20 different conversations.
See?
So in an 89 essay, an American-born professor wrote that the tribe daily expresses to one another their right to private choice and the right to be free from domination over a wide range of matters,
They do this daily.
such as residence, work, self-development, and even marriage. Because it's a society of absolute equals, men and women share the same status, not that status is a thing to them. So it says, anyone that tries to conform to traditional images of manhood, like the hunter, is subject to pity and is seen to lack self-control. So they're saying women can be hunters too,
Good.
which I agree.
Yeah.
There are women out there that are far better hunters than I am. Probably because they do it a lot more than I do.
There are probably women out there that are far better fathers than I am.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
Do we need to discuss who's the man in your guys' marriage?
It's me.
Is that what
Liz
Liz
just
would
controls everything.
say? It's me when Liz lets me be.
There's an old song that used to be played on the WDV in Pittsburgh called "Man of the House."
Yeah.
I think is what it was called, and there's a line where he says, "I'm the man of the house," and then he whispers, "When you're not around."
That's from that old song. I think it was Bob and Tom.
Maybe it's from Bob and Tom. They
Yeah.
played it on DVE all the time.
But this,
It's Hayward Banks, isn't it? No,
it might be. I don't know.
who knows? It's "Hey, would you blow me?"
Oh, yeah.
It's that guy.
So in this tribe, the idea of maturing into man doesn't exist. Says that the young men learn the self-regarding virtues of manhood that would set them as males against females. Or they don't learn the self-regarding virtues of manhood that would set them as males against females and as such superior to them. Each woman is a mistress of her own fertility for which she alone is responsible. The community has no legal right to her progeny, nor does her husband if they should divorce. So,
Okay. She gets to
basically,
keep her shit.
basically it's all a bunch of, hey, you do you and I'll do me, and we just won't fight about anything.
It's a utopia.
Yeah,
It's
it's literally
We should change it to the Utopians, not the Sentinelese.
That'd be way easier to say.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll take me in.
So to wrap it up here, if they'll take you in, you can try.
I could try.
I mean, there's a lot more to this article. Maybe we'll just have to post
What
the link.
happened if Tom Hanks
Shipwrecked on that island?
shipwrecked on
It
that
would have been
island?
a way shorter movie.
Are you sure?
He would have never even got to see Wilson.
Maybe. I don't know. Think about that, though. Maybe they would take him in like this guy rolls up on shore.
Why would they take him in when they don't take anybody in that's from outside?
But he just washes up on shore. What are they going to do?
Kill him and probably eat him.
Maybe not.
Maybe. Well, in your fantasy world where you get a sneeze, teleport everywhere.
Maybe because he washed up on shore, they take him in and take care of him and then make him one of them, their own.
Yeah, but they would still be susceptible to the disease and stuff. He's still a foreigner that has different,
Potentially, but that may not be the case. Because they brought the group that kidnapped the family brought him back to society where they were exposed to that. In this case, it's Tom Hanks washing up on shore after a plane wreck. They wouldn't be susceptible to that at that point. He wouldn't be carrying any diseases unless he had the common cold.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he had a cold when he boarded the plane, he washed it up on shore. They like, hey, come be our buddy, and then they're all dead. 60,000 years of lineage is gone.
Darwin.
How much inbreeding do you think's happened?
Probably a lot. They probably have large eyebrows. Like the bone in the skull is just like
they probably have large eyebrows.
It's like looking at a Neanderthal skull.
Well, according to the pictures I've seen online, they don't.
Huh.
They look fine.
Maybe that's where the origin of man actually came from. No one can figure it out.
I don't know. I did see a thing somewhere in a video I watched on YouTube, because like I said, I actually did some research on this.
Yeah.
I was watching a video and did talk about how their skull was shaped differently than modern man's, but it's not. It's a different, like a different form.
Yeah.
But it's not like like you would be thinking of somebody when you're thinking somebody 60,000 years ago.
What if it's the form of the, whatever you want to, the humanoid before humans, before Homo erectus?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or whatever we're called.
I didn't save that. But some things we can learn from them real quick. It says you have to find your own place in society. For one of the tribes, music forms a central part of their identity.
They have music, but they don't have fire.
We don't know if they have fire or not.
I'm sure.
And again, I'm reading an article that's talking about different tribes on this island that nobody's really been on.
Right.
So take all this with a grain of salt, and I could be wrong. I'm reading from an article I found online from BBC.com.
Okay.
So take it for what it's worth. I really just want to talk about him because with this guy getting killed, the whole reason he was going, and then learning that there were more than one tribe on this island. The tribe's always fascinated me. I watched a video on them years ago, but I kind of went, oh, that's pretty, weird, but I'm never going there, so I kind of quit. Well, this just kind of reignited that fire. It wasn't even a fire. It's like not a burning desire to study them, but it intrigues me.
You don't have a fire either.
I don't have a fire. I got a lighter in my pocket. When I leave here, I'm starting a bonfire for the youth group. They're playing football. I will be watching.
Ugh. They tried to play football at the gym yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Not doing that. It's too cold and wet. And I'm a gigantic puss.
Right. That's the big one.
So what else?
Really, it starts getting into other tribes in Venezuela and other things that are still, they've had contact, but they're still living pretty primitive compared to what we do. But research on one tribe who are isolated from the outside world until at least the 50s has given insights to how modern life could be changing the makeup of the human body. So in 2015,
we're getting dumber.
Yeah, and fatter. In 2015, a study examined a number of Yanomami villagers and revealed the most diverse collection of bacteria ever found in people, including some that had never been detected in humans before.
Sounds like a soybean.
So
edamame.
It does. It showed how modern diets, antibiotics, and hygiene could be reducing the range of bacteria in our bodies. So basically,
absolutely.
It's making us more dependent on all the antibiotics and crap.
Yeah, so I don't take any antibiotics. Like, I've got a sinus infection right now that is absolutely killing me. And I should have an antibiotic, but I won't take one. Because your body builds up immunities to antibiotics, and then it lets in more disease and shit.
Yeah. And here's another one.
This is the only way I get sick, and the only time I get sick is what I consider getting sick is to have a sinus infection.
Yeah, I usually don't get real sick. If I do, it's because it's something I ate.
Yeah.
You know, might mess me up for a day, but I don't get sick.
I don't get the flu. I haven't had the flu in years.
No, I get sniffly. I don't get the flu full blown. I did have something a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, where I was pretty sick one day at work. It was just I felt exhausted, weak, tired, you know, but I drove to work okay. I was kind of drowsy, and I drove home okay, but it was one of those, if I had time off, I would have taken the day off just to chill.
Yeah.
But the next day I was feeling better, so I don't know what it was.
It's a little 24-hour thing.
Another thing to learn from more primitive tribes is how to slow down. There's a Dr. Mark Plotkin, spent 35 years studying remote tribes across the Amazon and the use for plants for medicinal purposes. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about, it says, quite apart from the medical discoveries, Dr. Plotkin had a limp which American doctors were able to help with. He was cured by an Amazonian shaman. He said there's plenty to learn from the lifestyles of isolated communities. What we find is that people don't suffer from stress, heart disease, insomnia, and they spend more time with their families. We may not be ready to give up our iPhones and iPads and never eat Thai food again. Ooh, that's delicious. But the life lessons are clear. Slow down. Don't spend time worrying about things you can't do anything about. I try to live my life along these prescripts. So he heads up this whole team, and it goes on. But basically, from these tribes, we're seeing, like, the Sentinelese are seen as this vicious, savage, primal tribe. And it kind of makes me think... outsiders. Right, exactly. It kind of makes me think that the same thing with the Native Americans, circling all the way back around to Thanksgiving, where I set this up, but you probably didn't see it then, in my memes about the Native Americans, and the skit from The Wise Kids You Know, where they, I don't know if you saw it, but it's two guys dressed like Indians with headdresses and two guys dressed like pilgrims. Okay. And the Indians were like, you're here and we're going to fight. And they're like, no, we don't have to fight. We can live peacefully. It's like, no, we're going to fight. And something about, if we lose, you can run us off our land and burn our, villages and all this. And they kind of made this joke of it, saying like the Indians asked for it.
Yeah.
And, we came to help train the savage person how to live, to tame wild peoples.
Well, the Puritans came here to convert.
Like, the Puritans did,
like John. Well,
but not all the Pilgrims did.
Most of the Pilgrims did.
All the Pilgrims wanted to do was get away from England. They found a piece of land and went, "Hey, we can kill these people,
and convert them to
That'll work." When they were marching tens of thousands of people to Oklahoma, they weren't trying to convert them to Christianity.
Oh no, they were just trying to
that's my point.
Westward.
So when I was sharing all those memes and everything, it really made me think that these people are living that way.
The humans are a virus.
Yeah, we're all killing each other too.
Yeah.
But these three to five tribes have lived peacefully for 60,000 years. So I don't know. It just made me think back to the whole thing with being Thanksgiving week about how maybe they're rightfully so shooting or trying to kill every single thing comes near them, especially the things they don't understand.
Good.
Like planes. Maybe they've got it right and we're all the a-holes killing each other and stomping on people's faces for a TV on Black Friday and... Ooh. You know what I'm saying? See where I'm going?
Black Friday shopping.
So this whole thing where everybody's like, man, they're savages and blah, blah. Just leave them alone. They're people and they're happy.
Right.
Who cares that you don't want to live in a mud hut or cave or whatever they live in, and you don't want to hunt with a bow and arrow to have to eat. You want to be able to go to Chick-fil-A? Fine. Leave them the F alone.
I would like to live in a mud hut and hunt with a bow and arrow if I was in a tropical island.
Do it. Move to Florida and do it.
I can't get Liz to move. I'm up shit creek.
In a bag canoe.
That's right.
A very primitive.
A holy canoe.
Primitive canoe. But yeah, that's all. I just found it really interesting, the whole tie-in between them and natives of other lands throughout world history. It just fascinates me that they've been able to stay pure in bloodline.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know. They say there are three tribes. I'm assuming it's the same three.
To say at some point.
Same bloodline or something. I don't know. But whatever it is, the people on that island have not had anybody conquer them, and it just fascinates me because obviously it can be done.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Just send in an army.
No, yeah, send in a couple dudes that are
send in some seals
on their. Send in a seal. That'll be wiped
Who's
clean.
On his lunch break?
Yeah, seriously. Send in Rambo. Clear the whole island.
Oh, they're coming out with another Rambo.
I saw that. I don't want to talk about it.
God,
I get so tired of these remakes of old movies. Although I haven't seen.
It's not a remake. It's a continuation.
That's even worse.
He's just continuous, just like the Creed movies. They're continuations.
The
of
first Creed I
Rocky.
did see for free in theaters for a company thing. I actually liked it.
Yeah, they're not reboots or remakes. It's a continuation
Okay,
of the
it
story.
might be okay. That might be okay if it's done right then.
I don't know. Stallone doesn't do a bad job.
Just the remakes are garbage. Like the Dukes of Hazzard movie,
That was awful.
garbage.
That wasn't a remake, though. That was just a movie.
No, it wasn't a remake. It was a movie adaptation in modern times.
It was garbage.
And
It was awful.
Yeah, it was more of a comedy than a good movie, and it wasn't even a great comedy. The one that was the worst was The Karate Kid.
The one with
Jaden Smith.
Ugh.
Wow. That's one of the worst movies I've
They
ever
did a
seen.
continuation on a TV series for their Karate Kid
That's dumb.
with Danielson and what's his fuck?
Oh, yeah, Ralph Macchio and,
Yeah. It's on YouTube.
Other dude.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, they made an actual TV show out of it, like a series. It wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good. I watched the first episode because it was free. It was on YouTube.
It's on the YouTube. But yeah, that's all I got. I just thought it was, that guy getting killed obviously made me go, oh yeah, I forgot about those people. So I looked into them a little and watched some videos on them of what we do know. And then it got me thinking about how we treat people.
Yeah.
And about what we believe and how we try to force our beliefs on others. And how we
if aliens were to show up here on a Black Friday, they would think we were all fucking insane.
they could show up here on a normal Blue Tuesday and think that, depending on where they land.
No, just let them come in on a Black Friday. They'd think we're all nuts. They're like, oh, let them have their nuclear weapons so they can destroy themselves.
I mean, I don't see why they want it, because I think everybody's nuts and people kill each other for dumb reasons.
Right. I agree.
We need to be more like the Sentinelese. Do your thing, I'll do mine. There's no such thing as victimless crime. Sounds like I'm starting to do some word poetry stomp thing.
You're trying to.
I'm really not. It was an accident. My bad.
That's all right. I don't have anything. Like I said, my Thanksgiving was eventless.
That's good, though.
It was all right. Went home, or went back to my grandmother's, hung out. It was eventless.
I was supposed to get a story from Derek. He played today, too, and he went out Black Friday shopping because his wife loves it. So they go every year.
How can you love
I don't know.
going out into crowds and putting up with people who are constantly pushing and shoving, stabbing people to steal a Tickle Me Elmo from somebody else?
I don't know. But anyway, they went. I don't know because I don't go, and I don't get it, and I don't want to. But they went, and he told me he saw a fight, and I told him he should come record today, but he couldn't because he had to get new tires for his truck. And all I remember him saying, he said it's not that great of a story, but he did see one good fight, and it ended with a white person getting mad and trying to use a race card.
Oh, yeah?
This is because I'm white, isn't it?
Wow.
I was like, that's the craziest thing ever. A white person trying to play a race card.
I'm white, isn't it?
But yeah, maybe we'll have to get that story from him sometime.
I'm going to have to try to use that at work.
It's because I'm white, isn't it? No, it's because you're not doing your job.
No, it's because you're a dumbass.
Because you've been sleeping in your car 4 hours a day.
God. I would love to sleep in my car right now.
You're at your house. Why not sleep in your bed?
Because it just wouldn't be the same. Just sleeping in a car.
You get in the Audi and it's all dark and maybe the kids won't find you as quick. That's why.
Yep. And it's got nice leather Alcantara seats. And they get heated.
Sounds sexy.
The back of the seat heats up. That's right.
Sounds hot.
All right.
Like heated seats.
It is hot. They get pretty good. They're pretty hot.
Talk dirty to me, Audi.
You're gross. All right. I think that's it. I don't have anything. You have anything else?
That's it, man. That's all I got. It was Thanksgiving week. We didn't put a lot of effort into this.
No. This
I just happened to find some of this interesting, so I was like, we could talk about it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else will like it, but it fascinated me.
Well, I was expecting us to have somebody else here today, and they didn't come through for us.
Oh.
DJ.
Who would have been great to have on this episode.
Right.
Talking about a tribe outside of India of dark-skinned peoples.
I mean, he is my only black friend.
Our black-white friend. Or is he our white-black? I think he's our white-black friend. I think that's how you say it.
Either way, he's only black from the waist down.
DJ Bass. That's his DJ name.
BASE.
DJ Bass.
DJ kick the funky bass. Kick that funky bass.
Yeah, thanks, DJ.
Yeah, thanks for not being here.
I don't even think he listens all the way through.
I don't care.
He was like, yeah, I'll be on the show. I was like, have you listened to an episode all the way through? He goes, no.
No.
He would be good to have on here, though.
So
He's always good for like a political rant. Or him and I go back and forth about him talking about how dumb kids are and all this and how being a parent sucks, but he doesn't have any kids.
Right.
But he does have a dog, which when I got to thinking about it, having a pet, maybe. I think he dresses the dog.
He would be one to dress the dog.
I'm not 100% certain on that.
I'm done with this.
But the thing I got to thinking about, you just reminded me, it's actually dumber to own an animal than to have a kid.
Most animals are self-sufficient. All you got to do is feed them and leave them alone.
Bullshit. Leave for 2 weeks.
I said feed them.
Right.
You have to have someone come feed them.
Right. Well, so are most kids as they get older. I mean, puppies pee inside. You potty train them. Same with kids.
Right.
Right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. You just have to have someone come check.
But having a pet and saying pets are cool and then saying kids suck and I never want any.
Actually, have a cat. You can leave it for 2 weeks. You just get a cat feeder. You get a food feeder and a water dish.
But they're not self-sufficient
and they
either
can
way.
go shit in the litter box.
Animals were originally meant to be outside, and we brought them in and said, "You're my pet now."
Right.
And then we put them in sweaters because they get too cold and bow ties.
There's a movie
so they look
about
dapper.
That. Dapper. He's so dapper. Dapper.
But I miss my dog. I wish my dog would have. I mean, he lived to be 18 or 19, so that was a good run.
I have a diesel.
Anyway, if I go off anymore on what I was going to talk about that, it'll go way too long. So let's just end it here.
All right. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitters. What's that?
Sentinelese bird. We haven't discovered its species yet. Keep going.
Okay. You can shoot us an email at buckhornpodcast@gmail.com. And that's
do that.
Yeah.
Give some suggestions.
Send us an email. Well, we have suggestions. You and I have to sit and talk.
Oh, am I in trouble?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, December 1st, I got an event coming up at Curry's Antiques. I want to plug that real quick. So December 1st from 11 to 2, I will be blacksmith forging on an old blacksmith forge thing. And there's old cabins there and antiques, and they're going to do like some cider, I think, or some food. I don't know.
He'll make you a music note meat hook.
I will. A treble clef. Meat hook? I guess you can hang meat on it.
That's what it looked like to me. Gigantic meat hook. Anyway, thanks for listening. Tell your friends. Share. Like send us an email.
Rate,
because that does help with iTunes and Google
and Facebook.
The Facebooks and everything else.
And Podbean.
And leave us feedback.
And get the Buckhorn Podcast logo tattooed on your left butt cheek.
That would be dedication.
I'm not even that dedicated.
I'm not that dedicated either.
Somebody else should be for us.
Okay.
Gurgles, calling you out.
Just go down to Neff Tattoo in Lancaster, get it done.
I go to Thou Art.
I don't go to Thou Art then. I'd go tell you to see Gunner, but he moved, and it makes me upset. Anyway, thanks for listening
to the most random show anywhere.
I'm Martelle for Randy. We are out.
Peace.
Later.